can see, I figured that was gonna be too wet. So in the last, I know a couple of days ago, yeah, it's been 2 days ago, we got 2 inches of rain. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, today I'm out here, and it's just an early start, but I go on and do this. A lot of people have asked me how do I prepare my soil for my in-ground gardening, because they always hear me saying I'm putting quail manure and rabbit manure on there, and they wonder at what stage do I blend that in and such. Well, here it is, middle of January. Now, I would like to wait later, but I'm going to show y'all. I planted, maybe y'all can see it right here, but I'll show you in a moment. I planted some red crimson clover and some winter peas, hoping that it'd get a good flush cover, and it was getting there. And then that hard freeze we had a couple or 3 weeks ago killed it down to nothing. Well, it started coming back and made some little green, plus I done threw some more rabbit poop and quail manure, scattered it all on it. Well, now it's dry enough, and I know we're gonna be getting a lot more rains, but why it did have a little green, I wanted to go on and break this ground. Now what I do, I use my middle buster, because I wanted to go deep and get into that good native soil and bring it up into all of my compost manures and stuff that I've added on there, plus a lot of the leaves that's filled with these greens. And then I'll come back and I'll take my tiller behind the tractor and till it in, and that way it'll have until about the middle of March, sometime in April before I start planting. It'll have all that time to good compost together, everything right down. Biofumigation, if you like using them big words. So I thought I'd just show y'all what I'm doing out here. There's where I'd started, and I left a little bit so I can get on there and show y'all how I'm doing it. And you can see my crimson clover has started turning back green, but I know we're gonna have some more freezes coming. So I just decided I'm gonna go on and start today, getting it prepared. But you can see that middle buster there, it cuts deep. There it is, just a single plow middle buster. That's one of the oldies but a goodies. It was made back in when the things was made good. So for some of you that don't know how I collect my quail poop and rabbit poop, I just got these tubs up under my cages, and I make me some chutes where it falls right in them tubs. And then when them tubs get, usually about once a week, I keep them cleaned out. I scatter them over my garden or either carry them to the compost pile. Old tool boxes, I've been asked what's them for. That's where I store my feed in, because they're waterproof. Here's under the rabbit cages, same thing. That's how I catch the rabbit poop. And I just take it out there with a shovel and scatter it out. And I do that for weeks. Been doing that since the garden got everything out of the garden. I just slowly scatter it over. Next week, scatter a little more. I think that's why I grow some pretty good tomatoes. Now, I do the same thing in my raised beds, but I do that by hand, of course. I had crimson clover and all planted in them. Put rabbit poop, quail poop in them. Mixed them up good, and then I shredded leaves and put over the top. And they sat there till I get ready to plant. So now I'm gonna get back on the tractor and I'm gonna finish busting the rest of this up. And now next I hook to my tiller and I'll till this in good. And if I got enough black plastic, I ain't got no tarps. I'd love to have one of them tarps where you see other people tarping their garden areas, but I ain't got no tarp. But I did have some black plastic. And if I still got a piece big enough, I'm gonna cover this with black plastic and leave it covered until it gets close to time. Then I'll uncover it because I'm gonna cover this with ground fabric. Alright guys, now that we done went over it with the middle buster and I did my little section out there on the outside garden, I got my wood stiller here and I'm going to try to run over it, but it may be a little too wet today. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a try just to see. Now I know it's a big controversy nowadays about till and no till gardening. And I ain't going to get into that, but I will say I'm kind of in between, because this garden area here had ground fabric on it and I went through 2 seasons without pulling the ground fabric up and doing anything to that soil. The second year I planted, I just dug a little bigger hole and put me some compost and stuff in each hole where the plant was. So I don't know if you consider that no-till or not. But anyway, I got all my beds and stuff and I don't consider them no-till, because every year when I freshen them up with my manures and stuff, I turn that soil over good because I want it all mixed together. That's just my way of thinking. Now the ground fabric I got this year, which is what I got on my outside, is good heavy duty stuff, and this will be my second year coming up for my outside garden. And I'm hoping I can get 3 years, and then every 3 years pull that up and redo my ground just like I'm doing here, break it up real good and get it mixed with a lot more manures and compost and such. that year that I do that, I'm gonna try to get a earlier start next year and get my clover or whatever ground cover I'm gonna plant, and then when it gets green, try to get it tilled in or broke up like this before the heavy freeze. Now yes, I could have waited and gambled with the weather, and if we don't get no freeze, this here could have been more lush, more green stuff to till in, but I'm thinking we're gonna get some more freezes at the end of January here and sometime in February. That's usually when we get it here the last several years anyway. So I'm gonna get on the tractor and I'm gonna see if this is too wet. If it is too wet, I'll continue this video on another day when I'm doing it. But we're gonna get on there and give her a try. Before I get on there and start tilling, guys, I do have videos. I try to remember to attach above. If I don't, you can go to my videos on YouTube and go to the playlist, and you can see videos on where I done a review on this Woods, what is that, a RTR 60.40 tiller. I've done some reviews on that already, so that's why I'm not going to be talking about the tiller. I'm just showing y'all what I do to prepare my garden. see. I figured that was gonna be too wet. So in the last, I know a couple of days ago, yeah, it's been 2 days ago, we got 2 inches of rain. I'm on this ridge here, and it was wet on top. But when I took that middle buster and got down in there and brought some of that native soil back up into that compost and stuff, it really worked out well. Some of you saying that'll show you some pretty soil there, that dark color. The reason it got that dark color, guys, is because I use gin trash. And I got videos where you can go back and look at where I've hauled gin trash home, and I got it piled up back there in the back. And what I do in the summer when I'm mowing, sometimes I rake up some green grass and put in there, and plus I'm always dumping quail poop, rabbit poop, and I'm just always mixing. When I uncovered this, after I don't know when I uncovered this garden, a few months ago, when I uncovered it from my old ground fabric that I had on there, I took buckets of that gin trash compost and put on here, and I already had it tilled in there before I planted the ground cover on there. But that's all I'm going to do to it right now. If I can find some black plastic, I'm going to cover it up, staple it down around the edges, throw some bricks or something on it for the wind, and that'll kill out the grass seeds and such. And we're getting closer and closer to starting seeds for next year, guys. My problem is I want to start too early. I said last year that I wasn't going to start a seed until March the 1st. Because I start them, my plants start getting too big, and then I have to pot them up, and then I have to worry about them cold nights keeping them alive. I said I wasn't going to do nothing until March the 1st. But we'll see. But right now I'm finna see if I got some black plastic. Well, guys, I had good intentions of putting black plastic over this. But when I went and found my roll of black plastic, it wasn't even enough to do about probably not even 25% of this. So I'm just decided I ain't gonna do it at all. What I'll probably do in a couple more weeks, I'll probably hit it with a tiller, level it out good, and go on and just put my ground cover fabric over it and be done with it. So, but anyway, purpose of the video is just showing y'all how I prepare my soil. And like I said, this will be the 3rd year on this. It was in the ground fabric for 2 years. This year I pulled the old ground fabric up because it was getting too thin, too much grass coming through it. Put a lot of my gin trash compost, rabbit manure, quail manure, till it in. Did plant a cover crop on it, but you see I didn't have much of that to till in, but I was hoping to have a good lush cover here, and I did before the big freeze, but I didn't get it tilled in before the big freeze, so it killed it down. So that's how I prepare my bed gardening. Some of you been asking, so I thought I'd show you. But I hope that answers some of your questions. Hope you enjoyed the little video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me on my YouTube channel. If you got anybody out there you think might be interested in some of my videos, share them on your social media. That's the best way you can help me. And as always, I hope y'all have a great day and a blessed week. God bless. See y'all next time.